The boys from Brazil are back in town. The excitement is palpable. The expectation, as always, is enormous. And Serbia are here to spoil the party. And I do, just for a moment, want to do my best to describe this Lusail Stadium for you. We are going to be in here quite a lot during this World Cup. It is hosting matches at every single stage of the competition, including the final. You do feel conflicted in doing that because of the obvious issues we've already discussed on 5 Live and BBC Sounds during this tournament, with all the issues surrounding the construction of these stadiums. But our job on the radio is obviously to paint the picture and describe the venues for you and try and put you in our seats. I will do that as sensitively as I can. It is vast, it is breathtaking, it's 2 tiers, it is absolutely plastered pretty much all round with Brazilian fans in the bright yellow shirts. It's slightly similar to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in the sort of top rail up at the very top row of these stands, which steeple away miles into the sky, sort of twist and turn and go up and down like waves or like a ride on a roller coaster. And from the outside, Chris Sutton, you know, I was about to say it's impossible to miss, although I did manage to miss it about 3 or 4 times.
Around it, yeah, about 7 times
on the journey here. I'm describing it as the golden bathtub. It's just this enormous sort of golden bowl. It is an impressive venue.
Oh, it is, absolutely. It's, I mean, just looking around the stadium and at the crowd, it's like a Brazilian home game, isn't it? There are little pockets of Serbian supporters, but Brazil in a World Cup, we can't wait. But the weight of expectation on this Brazilian team is massive.
4.5 years ago, you and I were lucky enough to do Brazil's opening game in Rostov. Now we are here in Doha this evening. They're in a very similar group, actually, this time around. Serbia and Switzerland both in it. That night in Rostov, the game finished 1 apiece against Switzerland. They beat Serbia in their final group game. That meant Serbia were knocked out of the group stages. So they will want a little measure of revenge. And I also think this Serbia team is a stronger, more impressive, more sturdy outfit than that one back at Russia 2018. The Brazilian team in that familiar, famous kit, the yellow shirts, the blue shorts, the white socks, are in a final team huddle. This is the lineup for you for the opening of their World Cup campaign, a game that is on BBC television tonight. If you head to the iPlayer and look for World Cup Extra and you want the BBC pictures but you want our commentary, that is the way that you can do it. The initial Brazilian team huddle has broken up and the defenders have moved off to get into position, and then those attacking 4 or 5 players have just had a little huddle of their own just before we get the game underway. Brazil against Serbia. It is the last of the opening round of group games because we are back into the second round with groups A and B tomorrow, and obviously Wales and England will both feature here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Again, another enormous roar goes rifling around the stands here at the Lusail Stadium. We are underway. Brazil have Alisson in goal, Danilo, Marquinhos, Thiago Silva and Alex Sandro as a back 4, Casemiro as the holding midfielder, Lucas Paquetá and Neymar combining in central midfield, Rafinha and Vinicius Junior the wide men, and Richarlison as the centre forward. And Thiago Silva there, Chris Sutton's just got a welcome to the World Cup and have been clattered and knocked to the floor. He doesn't look best pleased.
Well, why would he be? But it's really interesting, this game, because we talk about the Brazilian forwards and the swagger, the superstars that they have. There's Neymar getting involved early on, a little tussle. They'll be really fired up. But this Serbian team, they're streetwise, they're strong, they're solid, and they are looking to spring a surprise.
So they play the back 3. Their left-sided centre-back is under pressure from Rafinha. Brazil have gone flying into the challenges early. Rafinha's committed the foul. Vanja Milinkovic-Savic is the younger brother of Sergej Milinkovic-Savic. He is in goal, winning only his 7th cap tonight. He plays his club football for Torino. All in green. I tell you what, he's got some clearance on him. He's smashed the ball downfield with his right foot beyond everyone, and it's gone away for a goal kick. Nikola Milenkovic, Milos Veljkovic and Strahinja Pavlovic are the 3 centre-backs from right to left. Andrea Zivkovic and Filip Mladenovic are the 2 wing-backs. Sasa Lukic and Nemanja Gudel of Sevilla provide the real sort of solidity that Chris is talking about in midfield. Milinkovic-Savic, Sergej Milinkovic-Savic and Dusan Tadic in support of Alexander Mitrovic, who obviously came into these World Cup finals with a foot injury, has been playing through a bit of pain for Fulham, is absolutely vital to the national team's cause. But saying that, Chris, you've got the likes of Vlahovic and Jovic on the bench as well. They're not short of attacking talent, actually, Serbia.
No, and we saw the difference the substitutions made for Japan yesterday, so they do have options on the bench. I suppose with Mitrovic as well is... Look, I think the Serbian fans will be delighted to see him in the team, but how fit is he? Missed his last couple of Premier League games, didn't he? I think it was an ankle injury.
Yeah.
They'll hope he's up to full capacity and can make an impression, as is made for his club this season in the Premier League.
Thiago Silva plays a ball to his left-hand side to Alexandro. Both teams are pressing each other here. Dusan Tadic is chasing Thiago Silva down to the byline. He clears with his left foot, and Zivkovic, the right wing-back, high up, blocks the pass, and it goes out for a throw into Brazil in their left-back position.
I think it's interesting what Tim Vickery said earlier about Thiago Silva. You know, they have Militao, who is, I think, more mobile. And, be interesting if that back four are isolated. He does lack a little bit of pace, and that may be an area which the Serbians look to exploit, that right-hand channel for them, the left-hand channel of Brazil. But with Tadic and Mitrovic, they aren't necessarily the quickest players around.
Dazzling skill early on from Vinicius Junior, headed the ball down to himself. He's continued to run through the middle. It's wide with Rafinha on the right-hand side. Brazil going through the gears early on. Low cross comes into that Serbian penalty area, and it is cleared, and I think that ball will run out for a throw-in to Brazil on the right. 3.5 minutes in, 5 Live and BBC Sounds. And this is Brazil against Serbia live in full from the Lusail Stadium. Lusail actually is a city itself just north of Doha, and I think you can hear that atmosphere wherever you're listening to us this evening coming through loud and clear. Throw in for Serbia now, inside their own half on the left. Mladenovic takes it. Milinkovic-Savic on the turn, volleys the ball forward into the Brazilian half. Alisson is able to collect that under no pressure at all. I think he's had a little haircut and a sort of trim. He's got rid of the beard and gone to the sort of handlebar moustache for this World Cup. He's all in light grey. Brazil have lost the ball inside their own half, and then Vinicius Junior was very quick to come and win that back for Brazil, trying to dribble across his own half, tackled by Milinkovic-Savic. Another challenge from Milinkovic-Savic there. Paquetá thought he should have had a free kick, but it's actually gone out for a throw into Serbia on the halfway line on the left.
Yeah, Vinicius Junior doing well initially, pickpocketing Milinkovic-Savic, but Milinkovic-Savic doing the same back. Just got to get a foothold in this game, the Serbians. You can see Brazil have started with great intensity, and I've got to say we've done a couple of games, haven't we, so far, but this is a proper atmosphere. You can feel it.
Yeah. Senegal, Netherlands and France, Australia didn't quite feel like this one. Brazil 0, Serbia 0. Serbia attacking down the right-hand side. Brazil back in numbers to defend. Cross comes into their penalty area. Headed away by Casemiro, who is absolutely vital for Brazil. He was the player that was suspended in their quarter-final defeat against Belgium at the last World Cup, and that was crucial for them on that night. Now, Pavlovic, centre-back, high up the field for Serbia, has got caught out. He's desperately trying to win the ball back. He's committed about 3 fouls there. 2 on Paquetá, 1 on Neymar, who goes tumbling to the ground. And isn't it wonderful, Chris, as well? You know, you talk about Brazil, you talk about World Cups. That is so iconic, that shirt, isn't it? Yellow shirt, green number 10 on the back. Tim Vickery telling us as well, you know, the sort of the links and the connections between Neymar, his current age, Pele, what he did in the World Cup. Neymar's just 2 goals behind him now as well overall.
Yeah, and I know you're a big fan of yellow and green shirts, Bruce.
6 minutes gone in the first half.
So Pavlovic now under pressure. Yellow card.
Do you think that was a yellow card?
Well, there was a couple of fouls there, but the referee has gone early now, hasn't he?
Yes.
And if that is the benchmark, then we are going to see a lot of cards.
Challenges have gone flying in early on in the game. Both teams hugely motivated. Switzerland and Cameroon, the other two teams in this group. Switzerland beating Cameroon by 1-0 earlier on today. The noise levels just dipped for the first time since kickoff. Paquetá looking for a ball down the right for Rafinha. It's overhit. Rafinha doesn't chase it, and it's behind for a goal kick. Rafinha's only come into this Brazilian team quite recently as well, Chris. It was sort of Chiche's scouts who alerted him to Rafinha, and he's very quickly become a really important player for them.
And what surprised me about that, you were telling me this today, it wasn't that long ago that...
Start last year.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty amazing, isn't it?
Goal kick for Serbia. Goalkeeper Vanja Milinkovic-Savic waves his three centre-backs up the field. They are all in red. Red shirts, red shorts, red socks, playing from right to left. Mitrovic nods the ball down. Sergej Milinkovic-Savic on the dribble, just stopped by Marquinhos on the edge of the box. He whacks it away with his right foot. Then Pavlovic takes a whack from Richarlison as they challenge for the ball. Rafinha comes flying in as well, really committed to the tackles this evening. And the throw-in actually has gone Brazil's way. And then Rafinha is going to come over and have a little bit of afters with Mladenovic.
Yeah, feisty old start to the game, but it should have been a foul on Pavlovic from Richarlison, who wasn't actually looking at the ball, jumped into Pavlovic.
8 minutes gone. Oh, someone's had their shirt taken off. It's Neymar. Now, Neymar is exaggerating the challenge on him there. Sasa Lukic was sort of tugging him and pulling him, and his shirt started to come off, and then Neymar, ever the showman here on the big stage, just basically took it off and almost said to him, look, you can have this if you want, but maybe after the game. Didn't you say to one of your lads, Chris, you were going to get Neymar's shirt from tonight's game?
Yeah, I did. I wasn't quite telling the truth.
8 minutes gone in the first half. Brazil 0, Serbia 0. Lively start to the game, and Serbia are certainly going to play their part. They're a good team. They've qualified for this World Cup brilliantly, finished ahead of Portugal and sent them into the playoffs.
I did get my lad a Ronaldinho shirt, though.
Yeah,
when he was at Barcelona, he asked for mine for a Champions League game.
Throw in for Serbia on the left. Mladenovic takes it. Goodell slightly miscues the pass back to him. Brazil might be away here. Richarlison lays it off to Rafinha. Rafinha again, stretching those long legs out. Away he goes down the right-hand side. Curls a low pass into Neymar. Just flicks it with the outside of his right boot back to Casemiro. Vinicius Junior, support on the outside, but he cuts infield. Casemiro, 35 yards out, plays a low, slow pass out to the left, gets it back, and then starts to think about the cross. Switch pass into Neymar. Neymar on the dribble, inside the box, still going. Serbia eventually get it away from him and clear the ball up towards Mitrovic, who heads it down. And Mitrovic then chases the next pass, bumps into Thiago Silva, but wins the header. Serbia have it. That's Tadic. And now Zivkovic playing the ball forward from the right, and Serbia just slow things down again.
Yeah, it was good from Brazil, though, wasn't it? A wonderful pass from Casemiro, really fizzed into Neymar, who took a heavy touch. And then the chance, the opening was gone. The Serbian defenders back in numbers, making it difficult for Neymar to get the shot off. But Casemiro just sitting in that quarterback position. Paquetá and Neymar playing higher up in the midfield.
Zivkovic again on the right-hand side. Cross comes in too close to Alisson. That's an easy claim for him on the edge of his 6-yard box.
Yeah, he's a left-footed right wing back. Zivkovic.
10 minutes gone then in the first half. Brazil 0, Serbia 0. Just wondering whether Chris forgot our game in Rostov, the Brazil-Switzerland game, their opener in the World Cup, because of all the other things that happened there. You got chased by a pack of dogs when you went for a run. You had your hair cut, didn't you? Breakfast in that hotel was always a little bit scary.
As Mitrovic goes down, and he's asking for a card, a yellow card, I presume. It's Paquetá. It's a strong challenge, and we talked about the referee setting the standard earlier.
Yeah. It's the foot as well, isn't it? That's where the injury is for Mitrovic, and so, that's what Serbia will be concerned about. Brazil 0, Serbia 0.
Do you want to make him angry? Do you poke the bear?
50 goals for his country, Alexander Mitrovic. 50 goals in just 76 international caps, which is an astonishing rate of scoring. Lukic plays the ball back to the edge of his own penalty area. Central midfielder Goodell, long hair, tied up on the top of his head, trying to get an attacking move going, has given the ball away. Here's Thiago Silva, across to Marquinhos. Those two obviously have played together plenty of times at international level, plenty of times at club level at Paris Saint-Germain as well. Now the ball with Casemiro in the centre circle, across to Danilo, forward to Paquetá, just lays it off to Danilo. He's lost it. Tadic tries to take it round Casemiro. He does his job and stops him. Rafinha picks up the next ball and passes back into his own half, and Danilo plays back to Marquinhos.
That's Casemiro all over. Tadic looked to drift past him in the centre of the park when the ball was given away by Brazil, but really strong challenge, well-timed challenge, and Brazil back in possession of the ball. Rafinha and Vinicius Junior staying really wide. Rafinha off that right-hand side, Vinicius Junior off to left. Vinicius Junior, right footer, Rafinha, a left footer. They'll look to come inside and link up.
Brazil looks sharp, Serbia looks sharp too. Brazil have it inside the Serbian half. Neymar plays it out wide here to Vinicius Junior. Vinicius Junior uses a bit of skill, beats his man on the outside, still going down by the byline, chased hard, sliding challenge on him, and it goes out for a Brazilian corner. Their first of the game, Brazil 0, Serbia 0.
Yeah, it's brilliant wing play. It really, really is. Everybody's talking about Neymar coming into the tournament, but Vinicius Junior is the one to watch for me for Brazil. Drove the outside then, likes to come inside on his right foot, but giving Zivkovic something to think about.
Neymar gets ready to take the corner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 yellow shirts inside that Serbian penalty. He goes for goal. Neymar hits the bar, and the ball goes straight up in the air. Keeper, I think, got a touch. It's going to be another corner.
How can you say he went for goal there?
He goes for goal from the corner, Chris. He curls it in.
Was it just a bad corner?
Let's see what he does with this one. Maybe he'll have another go. By the way, Milinkovic-Savic, Vanja, the goalkeeper, is the second tallest player in the competition, so you do well to lob him from anywhere. Neymar taking the corner from the left with his right foot, and there he is, the big man. Milinkovic-Savic makes a good clean catch with both hands. One of the Serbian defenders has collided with the post. That's Pavlovic, who's on the yellow card. So he's slowly getting himself to his feet. The great line from Chiche, the Brazilian boss, about Neymar, which I loved in the build-up to the World Cup, Chris. Neymar is both bow and arrow. The creator, but also the finisher.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I mean, let's hope he is known for his thriving in this World Cup, not his diving.
Milinkovic-Savic has the ball in hand. The Serbian goalkeeper, who got a good fist on that Neymar corner, which led to the second corner. Serbia have dealt with that. Pavlovic looking a little shaky at left-sided centre-back. He's just passed the ball straight out of play. Brazil take the throw inside their own half. Ball back with Marquinhos. Almost a miscued pass. Alisson does well to keep that in play and save it from going out for a corner. Controlled on the left-hand side by Mladenovic. Does well. Holds off the challenge of Rafinha. Plays the ball back into central midfield. And here's Sasa Lukic. Out to the right to Zivkovic, who, as Chris says, is the left footer playing on the right. And you could see again there, he was trying to get into position to try and hit an in-swinging cross with the left foot. Serbia come back to the halfway line. Milos Veljkovic is the middle of the three centre-backs, who was formerly a Tottenham player who didn't get too much game time, now plays at Werder Bremen. Here's Pavlovic, who's a hulking great centre-back and wears the number 2. Gudel across to Veljkovic in the centre circle, to Milenkovic, the right-sided centre-back. Brazil forcing Serbia back towards their own goal here, and they've had to come back to their keeper Milinkovic-Savic, who's actually just outside his penalty area, so they'll start to build again. Veljkovic to his right, that goes to Milenkovic. Back it comes to the goalkeeper. This time he goes with a high first-time clearance downfield. Alexandro leaps to win the header. Milinkovic-Savic, Sergei Milinkovic-Savic wins the next one. He's tall man in the middle of the park for Serbia. Already over 300 appearances for his club Lazio.
Good player. Has been heavily linked, hasn't he, with Premier League clubs now for a number of seasons. And see, he's the one who really drifts forward with Gudel and Lukic just sitting behind him, trying to make the play. But it's a feature of his game which he's very good at, Milinkovic-Savic.
Serbia keeping the ball well. They've won a cheap free kick, I would say, there. That's Zivkovic, who's gone down. Not saying contender for the simulation game, but it didn't need much contact. Little tug of the shirt and down he went. Do want to have a look at the old Ronaldo penalty today, Chris. Not seen that yet, just seen still images. Portugal beat Ghana by 3-2. Ronaldo scoring one of those from the penalty spot. First player to score at 5 separate World Cup tournaments. Marquinhos plays across to Thiago Silva. Some fabulous football commentaries on the way for you tomorrow on 5 Live and BBC Sound, starting with Wales against Iran from 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. That also on BBC Television. So again, via the iPlayer, World Cup Extra, you can get the pictures, you can get the 5 Live commentary. That'll be Ian Dennis and Pat Nevin tomorrow. Free kick for Brazil just inside the Serbian half. 16 minutes gone, they take it short. Neymar at walking pace, then just sweeps the ball with his right foot to beat one man. Header won by Richarlison, but Brazil can't keep it. Milinkovic-Savic to Goodell. Goodell plays a little 1-2, then hits a pass out to the right. Pressure on from Neymar. Loose ball into the Serbian penalty area. Goalkeeper gives it a good shout. Milinkovic-Savic gets there in time and actually gets Serbia away down the left here. Mladenovic just rolls it forward for Dusan Tadic. Tadic on the turn, gets away from Paquetá. Plays back to Lukic, and Serbia again back into their own half.
Yeah, the goalkeeper did well, didn't he? Milinkovic-Savic, the goalkeeper, just at the right time getting there and popping the ball out left. Just trying to get a foothold in this game and make some passes, the Serbians. As I say, the thing they really lack is great pace in this team.
Mitrovic very nearly finds Zivkovic with a crossfield ball. Mitrovic gives it the old, how didn't you control that? I mean, he was at full flight and trying to control it in midair. Had he been able to bring it down, he might have been able to get across into the penalty area. Throw in for Brazil, left back position. Neymar takes it down well on his chest, tackled. 3 or 4 rolls from Neymar, stays down. No free kick given. I don't know whether the referee was playing advantage. Vinicius Junior is then tackled, so it's whether it's going to be a throw in Brazil or a free kick for Brazil.
He did play an advantage, okay, and it was a foul. But why I mean, we can count the rolls here, can't we? That's 1, 2.
They stopped the replay. There were more than that, weren't there?
Yeah.
That hurts, Chris, when you get tackled like
that.
But
you know, just go down. You don't have to roll over 5 times. Dear me.
Free kick for Brazil.
I really hope for his sake as well. You know, he's not known for his diving antics in this World Cup. He's a brilliant player, but that's something which he's always done, but needs to cut out of his game.
3rd World Cup for Neymar. 4 goals for him in 2014, but through injury missed the semi-final. The humiliation at the hands of Germany. Knocked out in 2018 in that brilliant quarter-final against Belgium. Here they are trying to win a 6th World Cup. Paquetá, edge of the area. Pass blocked by Goodell. Milinkovic-Savic tries to bring the ball away. His pass is intercepted. Marquinhos just chases a ball back.
So when they're out of possession, they'll shape up as a back 5, the Serbians, 3 in the midfield. But when they win the ball back, you know, you talk about that lack of pace, you know, which is so essential to counter-attack. Mitrovic doesn't have the pace, neither does Tadic. Tadic is such a talented footballer, really is a wizard. Great passer, he's a finisher as well. But they need that pace.
Paquetá looking for Neymar, was trying to let that ball run across his body. That was well read there by Milenkovic, who stepped in to intercept, but Brazil comes straight back at Serbia. Vinicius Junior has looked really good at the start of this game, lays it off to Neymar, 25 yards out. Might fancy this one. Neymar hits the drive, and it's blocked by Velkovic. Richarlison down.
He took that in the head, Richarlison.
Did he?
Yeah.
I thought Velkovic blocked and Richarlison caught one as he went running in for the rebound, but you're right, he's down holding his face. I didn't realise they call him the Piombo, the pigeon, Richarlison. Brazilian teammates. That's something I discovered in the research for the game as well.
And why is that?
I don't know, Chris. He was in very good form, though, for the player pronunciation videos, because he stands in front of the camera and he goes, Richie, with a big smile on his face. You don't often see him smiling like that, but he's in a good mood here at the World Cup. Brazil are flowing, they're coming forward. Vinicius Junior plays the ball back to Casemiro, 30 yards out. He's going to hit one. Oh, Milinkovic-Savic makes the save, half spills it, but no one there to get on the rebound. Brazil 0, Serbia 0.
Yeah, it's not like Milinkovic-Savic, the Serbian goalkeeper, needed his hands warming in Qatar, but there's a decent strike from Casemiro. At 30 yards out, put his laces through the ball, but straight at the goalkeeper.
Milinkovic-Savic clears. Now that's something obviously Mitrovic does have, the ability to win that long ball. He nodded it down. Serbia have lost possession. Paquetá plays a low pass to Alexandro. His ball forward down the left of Vinicius Junior doesn't find him. Serbia intercept, and a chance now for them possibly to attack through Lukic. Lukic plays to the right. It's picked up by Tadic. Tadic running forward down the inside right channel, has lost that a little too easily. Here's Thiago Silva.
It's Vinicius Junior really working back very, very well. He's picked the ball up again and he's driving.
He's in the mood, isn't he?
Yeah,
look at him go. He's made 30-40 yards up the left. He's then lost it in a tackle on the halfway line. But they're getting the ball, well, Rafinha as well, wide to Vinicius Junior and Rafinha, and they are really just going for it. Ball back inside the Serbian half. Midway through the first half, 5 Live and BBC Sounds from the World Cup here in Doha. Brazil 0, Serbia 0. This time tomorrow night you'll be stuck into England's next game in this tournament after the thumping win against Iran. They play the USA tomorrow night. John Murray will be alongside Rob Green and Chris's good pal Micah Richards, part of the commentary team tomorrow night. And then Chris will be taking the calls after the game on 6:06. Neymar with a bit of closing down there, blocks the clearance, and the ball goes out for a Serbian throw.
We were, talking about this earlier, weren't we, about, which Brazil will we see? Will they sit deep? Tim Vickery says they are going to press high. It's a different type of Brazilian team. If you want to win this World Cup, you've got to work hard out of possession. I think the game has, certainly changed, hasn't it, in that respect? And you can't carry players and passengers out of possession. And Neymar putting a shift in. Yeah. High bouncing ball comes over to the left-hand side in Serbia's half. Mladenovic pokes a little pass to Milinkovic-Savic, back to Mladenovic. Rafinha's in, chasing again, trying to win those tackles. Milinkovic-Savic, tight spot for him, wide on the left, keeps it in play but loses it to Marquinhos. Rafinha will chase this down the left-hand side. Pavlovic gets his body in the way. Rafinha can't quite muscle his way round, and it goes behind for the goal kick. He got slightly lucky, didn't he, Pavlovic? Rafinha nearly kept that in, tried to use his body and just ease Rafinha out on the byline. Talking about... Did enough, exactly, did enough. He's on the yellow card, so he's got to be careful. Serbia played the ball up towards the halfway line. Milinkovic-Savic tried to flick it on, didn't get any contact on it. Mladenovic just nods it down inside his own half. Gudel sticks out a lead and pokes it forward, but only as far as Thiago Silva. Wide it comes here to Danilo. Danilo plays back to Marquinhos, and Marquinhos with a low pass out to the left back Alexandro. Down that touchline to Vinicius Junior. This time Zivkovic gets close, doesn't allow him to run, so Brazil play back to the two centre-backs. Thiago Silva and Marquinhos exchange passes. 25 minutes gone in the first half. Brazil 0, Serbia 0. Alexandro down the left to Vinicius Junior. Intercepted. Milinkovic-Savic with a chance to spin and play a little pass to the right-hand side, and Serbia coming on the counter here, getting men forward. Mitrovic in the middle will jump for it. Alisson comes out and makes the catch. He does brilliantly, Alisson. His anticipation is exceptional. It's a cross from the right-hand side, and Tadic is looking for Mitrovic at the far post, and Mitrovic so good in the air, and he stands the ball up, and Alisson off his line like a whippet and clutches the ball probably 8 yards from his line. Really good anticipation. He's one of the Liverpool players this season who has had a good start to the season. Long diagonal looking for Rafinha. Pavlovic heads it away. Brazil get a throw on the right-hand side. If Serbia do manage to beat Brazil tonight, it'll be the first opening game Brazil have lost at a World Cup since 1934. I was going to say that. First 2 World Cups. Who was that against? They lost their opening game each time against Yugoslavia, funnily enough, and then 1934 against Spain. Since then, unbeaten in 19 opening games, winning 16 of them. 20 minutes to go in the first half, and here's Vinicius Junior of Real Madrid just caressing a pass back to Thiago Silva. Brazilians, as ever, looking after the football. Danilo back to Marquinhos. First time ball finds Thiago Silva, controls it, plays it forward to Neymar. Neymar's allowed to turn, looks for a little bit of skill, stopped in his tracks. Tadic onto it for Serbia. He's lost it.
so Brazil can start again from the halfway line. Paquetá picks up. Little spin and a pass from him to Danilo. Danilo, bit of space here in the inside right channel. Wide to Rafinha. And Rafinha plays back to Marquinhos. Cross to Casemiro, a little further forward.
Yeah, Alexandra and Danilo, more back supports. Backing Rafinha and Vinicius Junior up, not really getting on beyond them.
Nice crisp pass from Rafinha, played into Danilo, who's in a central midfield position. Thiago Silva looking for Vinicius Junior, goalkeeper quickly off his line, gets both hands to the ball and then races out up to his feet and clears with his right foot.
That's top goalkeeping, it really is.
Brazil take the throw in quickly. Milenkovic in hard with the challenge on Vinicius Junior. Then he gives Neymar a shove. Then the referee eventually decides to give the free kick, and the Serbians aren't happy about it. Brazil 0, Serbia 0. That was great goalkeeping.
Yeah, but that's when Brazil look at their most dangerous. That's a couple of times now. Vinicius Junior has made that run. There's Thiago Silva with the slide rule pass, and Vinicius Junior in off the left-hand side between wing-back and centre-half. And Milinkovic-Savic off his line really quickly, and he throws himself, slides out and gets a big right hand, an enormous right hand on the ball, and pushes it away.
Free kick for Brazil, level with the edge of the Serbian penalty area, wide on the left-hand side. Neymar could be the one to strike it. In the group game in Russia 4.5 years ago, Thiago Silva actually got on the score sheet in the 2-0 win. It was the final group game that time. Neymar's face is wreathed in sweat, etched with concentration. Could be a curling ball from the left boot of Rafinha as well. Thiago Silva's in there, Richarlison's in there, Marquinhos is in there. Taken short, Neymar on the dribble, plays it to Rafinha, down by the byline, overhits the cross beyond everyone. He was at full stretch, and it's gone out for a throw into Serbia on the left.
It wasn't a Brazilian-like cross, was it? I mean, I think Neymar had a little 2v1 from the free kick on that left-hand side, and Neymar had overweighted the pass to Rafinha, who then tried to stand up across from inside the box near the byline, and must have chipped that all of 40-50 yards, one bounce out for a throw-in to Serbia halfway inside their half.
Almost coming up to the half hour here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Brazil 0, Serbia 0. Martin Keown is sitting not too far away from us, former England international, working for BBC Television this evening. Chris, you were sort of getting into his ribs before the game, reminding him about a 3-1 Blackburn win against Arsenal, which he wasn't taking. He blamed Tony Adams, didn't he?
Tony Adams not here to defend himself.
Absolutely right.
Of course. And that's what footballers do, Bruce.
I've discovered, Chris, sharing a flat with you.
Blame everybody else.
Absolutely. Even had a bowl of... I cooked you steak last night. You finished up 2 helpings, steak, rice, broccoli and salad, and then you get straight up and you went and had a bowl of cornflakes.
Yeah, it was a measly steak, wasn't it?
Neymar.
3 mouthfuls, that was it.
Neymar plays wide to Vinicius Junior. Infield to Casemiro. Casemiro looking to loft one over the top. Tadic gets in the way and blocks it. The ball is back with Casemiro just inside the Serbian half. Goes for a similar pass. Rafinha might get on the end of this. Heads it across goal and then headed away and behind for a corner by Veljkovic.
Yeah, so we talked about the run from Vinicius Junior off that left-hand side. Likes to make that run inside the wing-back. The opposite side this time, Rafinha making a run behind the Serbian back line and heading a ball across, and Veljkovic did really well actually. Read the situation well, took no chances, headed it behind.
Milinkovic-Savic being vociferous and forceful inside his 6-yard box. Corner comes in low to the near post. It was aimed for Richarlison. Last touch came off Mladenovic. It's gone behind for another corner. Rafinha will take. Vinicius Junior is lurking on the edge of the D if anything comes out there to try and hit the strike. Might go short here to Paquetá. Paquetá spotted an opportunity. Lovely back heel to Rafinha. Low cross. Oh, nearly connected with at the near post. In the end, it's in the arms of the goalkeeper, Milinkovic-Savic, and it was the 38-year-old Thiago Silva sliding in at the near post like a young Chris Sutton.
Yeah, he's having a good game, isn't he? The Serbian goalkeeper so far, really good handling.
Great run here on the right by Zivkovic. Now that is a bit embarrassing. He did well initially. He's then lost it and thrown himself to the floor to try and win the free kick. Doesn't get the decision. Paquetá rolls a pass down the left. That's blocked, goes out for a Brazilian throw.
He's holding his mouth. Zivkovic.
Come on. He's better than that, Chris.
Yeah, he is better than that.
Sorry to steal the catchphrase. Here's Vinicius Jr. I think the ball's gone out for a throw-in to Brazil on the left-hand side. Come on, Zivkovic, get back in the game here. Your team needs you. Brazil 0, Serbia 0. Chris and Robbie back with 6:06, as I said, tomorrow night after England-USA. Our fourth of 4 more World Cup commentaries coming your way tomorrow. 10 o'clock Wales-Iran, 1 o'clock Qatar against Senegal in Group A. Netherlands-Ecuador. I've not got you for that one, Chris. I'm with Matt Upson for that one tomorrow at 4 o'clock. England-USA at 7. 5 Live, your World Cup station. Coverage of every single game on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. 13 minutes remaining in the first half. Fascinating tussle here between South America and Europe, and Neymar's trying to be clever with a sort of nutmeg back heel on Tadic, and Tadic isn't having it, and Neymar's battling for the ball on the floor, and then Lukic goes sliding in on Alexandro, and Alexandro gives it a couple of tumbles, and the referee says get up, throw in Brazil.
Yeah, Neymar there trying to be a bit of a show pony. The crowd in the stadium enjoying that, trying to nutmeg one of the Serbian midfielders with a back heel, and the Serbians are saying we're not having that.
It's about entertainment though, Chris. I love it.
Yeah, well, it's about being effective, Bruce.
It is. Brazil with Danilo.
It's all right being pretty, you need the punch.
Finds Paquetá. Alexandro to Vinicius Jr. Will this be the Brazilian punch? Neymar with a flick, couldn't find Vinicius Jr. Cross comes in. That one's headed away by Veljkovic. Ball bounces midway inside the Serbian half. Collected here by Marquinhos. Every single outfield player inside the Serbian half to our right at the moment. Neymar picks the ball up in space. First touch actually led him down, then he goes tumbling. Gudel, no foul.
Just coming back at the moment though, isn't it? The Serbians cannot get up the pitch.
I think Brazil sense it as well. They're pressing forward. Thiago Silva well forward in this attack. Richarlison, lovely layoff to the right. Danilo crossing to that penalty area, looking for Neymar. Cleared first time. Mitrovic looks for a little layoff. Tadic heads it to his left. Alexandro read it well, beats Mitrovic in the air, nods it back into his own half.
The problem is when the ball goes up to Mitrovic, he's isolated. They need to get players in and around him for the knockdowns.
Well, the two tasked with that, Tadic and Milinkovic-Savic, who are kind of the two supporters, and then the wing-backs, obviously Zivkovic on the right, Mladenovic on the left. Now there's a lovely back heel again to Richarlison. Out wide to Rafinha. Rafinha on his left foot, 25 yards out. Paquetá, oh, back to Rafinha! Weak shot straight at the keeper. What a chance that was for Brazil. And Milinkovic-Savic breathes a sigh of relief.
Now, what a pass it is, though. Back to Rafinha, and it's a really weak finish. Takes a brilliant first touch. And then on his favoured left foot, you're expecting the net to bulge. Hands on his head. It's with the inside of his left foot as well. He could just feed that into the far corner. It gets it horribly wrong. I think it comes more or less off his heel.
Yeah.
And it just trickles into the Serbian keeper's arms. That was the best chance of the game.
Just took the words right out of my mouth. I was just about to say that was the best chance of the game so far. Brazil 0, Serbia 0.
Was it Paquetá with the pass, was it? It's a wonderful pass.
I can't remember. That was
really
about
wonderful pass
a minute ago. Richarlison battling for it here with Pavlovic. Serbia come out on top. Lukic forward to Gudel. Oh, nice touch from Tadic, edge of the area. Wants a free kick, doesn't get it. Rafinha with a little touch. Gudel in with the challenge, knocks the ball out of play. Brazilian throw on the right-hand side. Brazil, who've only lost 2 of 47 competitive internationals under the man in the light blue suit down there, Chiche. 1 against Belgium, World Cup quarter-final last time around. 1 against Argentina on home turf in the Maracanã in the Copa America final last year, which really will have hurt. Brazil 0, Serbia 0. Talking about light blue suits, there was a fella doing some television stuff ahead of the game in the most outrageously shocking pink suit at the start of this game. I mean, he looked $1 million, but couldn't see you in that, Chris. Pink suit, white trainers. He looked fantastic. A lovely rich golden tan as well. Nice ball out to the right-hand side for Zivkovic. Bit of space to bring it forward for Serbia. Up to the corner of the penalty area. Zivkovic gets the return pass. Now the cross comes in towards the far post. Mladenovic attacks it with the header. It's gone well wide. That's a goal kick for Brazil. We're into the last 10 minutes of the first half. Brazil 0, Serbia 0.
Yep. Better from the Serbians. It was an underlap, wasn't it, from Zivkovic? Put in a good crossing position, but with his weaker right foot, ballooned the cross really to the far post. You like balloon, don't you?
Yeah, we've got to cross that off the list now because we've used it. Now this falls for Tadic. 30 yards out, central position, lays it off to Zivkovic. Milinkovic-Savic wants it edge of the box. Zivkovic back to Goodell. Nice football from Serbia here. Can they pack a punch? Can they test Alisson? Could they find Mitrovic with something meaningful in the middle? Lukic just inside the Brazilian half, across to the left-sided centre-back, Pavlovic. Thought about rumbling forward there at speed and then stopped in his tracks and played it back to Veljkovic. Across to Milenkovic, into the feet of the central midfielder. Lukic starts to glide forward, trying to find Zivkovic on that right-hand side. Brazil are able to shepherd the ball out of play, but the throw-in goes Serbia's way.
They haven't really shown that belief, the Serbians, in the final third.
No.
That sharpness of passing.
Neymar was questioning that decision there, wasn't he? Almost giving it the, do you know who I am? And the assistant referee was having none of it. Throw in Serbia. Serbia have it inside their half. Brazil 0, Serbia 0, 5 Live and BBC Sounds. All the reaction, all the debate, all the analysis after another fascinating day of World Cup football here in Qatar. Available for you via the BBC Sounds app on the World Cup Daily podcast.
Yeah, Mitrovic giving Pavlovic a real blast there. He's not happy with that pass, but Mitrovic should have made the run in the channel and given him an option.
Casemiro just inside the Serbian half. Marquinhos comes forward, central position, finds Neymar, looks for the 1-2 with Paquetá, doesn't come off. Brazil get possession again. Here's Danilo to Neymar, who's got a real joyful bounce to his movement inside this stadium, enjoying the game, enjoying the show, enjoying being the centre of attention and trying to take Brazil to the Hex, as they call it. Brazil, the Hex. 6th World Cup title. Marquinhos up towards the halfway line, stops dead, plays across to Thiago Silva. Guy with a giant aerial, TV aerial, has just walked in front of us. Hope they're not relying on him to provide footage around the world. That looks like one on my old TV set. Marquinhos. Brazil work it to the right. Rafinha, nice pass. Through the legs of the defender. Paquetá, cross in towards Richarlison. Good defending at the near post. Prevents Richarlison getting the shot away. Serbia try and turn it into a counter-attack. Long stride of Milinkovic-Savic up towards the halfway line.
There you are. Tadic making the forward run, but no great pace. Where Serbia have been good, the 3 centre-halves. Defended crosses very, very well.
Yeah.
Like 3 doormen, aren't they? In a Belgrade nightclub.
Pavlovic in particular has that look about him. When I saw him close up in the tunnel, I thought, phew, he looks tough.
Yes, and to the Brazilians, you're not coming in.
Your name's not down, Neymar. Yeah, he's a rugged. He's the very definition of a rugged centre-back. Serbia have got some lovely footballers in this team as well. Goodell, across here to one of those bouncers. Pavlovic plays back to his goalkeeper, who could be another one, actually. Milinkovic-Savic, 6'8" tall, the only player taller than him at this World Cup we've seen. Andries Noppert, the Dutch goalkeeper.
The Dutch debutant, wasn't he?
Correct. Ball wide and played infield to Milinkovic-Savic. Goodell's just made a nice little run forward into space, collects it just outside the Brazilian area, lost it to Paquetá. Thiago Silva, pass up through the middle to Casemiro. Quick ball over the top. Vinicius Junior is chasing that bouncing ball. All stretched there from Milinkovic, didn't get it. Vinicius Junior has missed. And it goes behind for a goal kick. Hits it with his right foot on the half volley. He claims he should have had at least a corner. Doesn't get the decision. And Milenkovic, who his clearance, I think, hit himself in the face, very nearly gave Vinicius Junior the chance. Oops.
Yeah, it's a good shout, that. Milenkovic, it was a long diagonal ball. I think it was Casemiro, wasn't it? And as the ball bounces, Milenkovic gets there first, his outstretched right leg trying to hook the ball back over his shoulder. And all it does, it falls into the path of Vinicius Junior, but credit Milenkovic, he gets back and makes the block. It should have been a Brazilian corner.
Do you think so? I think he made the block and then Vinicius Junior got another touch. Cross comes in towards Mitrovic, just over his head. But I think Zivkovic might be able to keep this in if he can run at the speed of light. He got nowhere near it. That's gone out for a throw.
No, but nearly
Misjudged the pace.
For Serbia as Mitrovic catches Thiago Silva. It's a diagonal ball. Well, ball whipped in from the left-hand side and just over Mitrovic's head. His movement's very, very good. Peels away from Thiago Silva, tries to get out of his eye line.
Yeah.
And the cross comes in.
Oh, Neymar's down by the byline, got a shove in the back. He'll take that all day long. Silly challenge, really, because he was under pressure there, deep in his own left-back position, just waited for the contact from Zivkovic and wins the free kick. 3 minutes remaining in the first half. Can't see too much added time coming on at the end of the first half, but, you know.
What's too much at this World Cup?
I know. Brazil 0.
Are we going to see another 0-0? How many
Serbia
0-0s?
I've not added them all up, but there was Uruguay, South Korea today, which said on the BBC Sport website, a very entertaining nil. You can have entertaining 0-0s, Chris. Danilo, pass forward on the volley, intercepted by Goodell. Danilo gets another chance, thumps it away high in the sky. Header forward by Milenkovic. Pass is knocked out to the left, intercepted by Paquetá. Paquetá to Casemiro, on to Neymar. Neymar nods it down, keeps control, chased by a whole horde of red-shirted Serbs, and is able to hold them off and find Rafinha. Rafinha with a bit of skill on the right, and then just let the ball get away from him, goes behind for a goal kick. He thought about hitting the cross and decided to go for one more cut back, couldn't control it.
Yeah, it was really clever the way he manoeuvred the ball at first. Shapes to go inside on his left foot, drags it on the outside of Pavlovic, but just overran it. You could see Neymar, close attention, drifts past 4 Serbians in the middle of the park and popped the ball out to that right-hand side.
75 goals for the Seleção Neymar. Pelé on 77. Will this World Cup be the time when Neymar gets there and possibly goes past?
Yeah,
we saw Giroud do it the other night for France.
Talk of this being his last World Cup, it's now or never really for him, isn't it?
Well, I was thinking that going into this one, Chris, because Chicho has said that. Thiago Silva, it'll be the same for him. And the amount of players that are on the last dance here, honestly, that dance floor is absolutely rammed. Ronaldo, Messi, possibly Lewandowski. It'd be difficult to find room out there. Brazil have given the ball away. Tadic, nice little drag, keeps the ball under the studs of his left boot, wide to Zivkovic.
Got a few bodies in the box here.
Milinkovic-Savic looking for Tadic, was off balance, couldn't control it. Allison picks it up. We've got a minute left of normal time in the first half. Very enjoyable game of football. We hope you're enjoying it with us wherever you are. On 5 Live and BBC Sounds, Neymar's on the move through that Serbian midfield. Can't find Rafinha with the pass. Serbia have cleared the danger for now. Brazil will go again with Danilo. Danilo to Casemiro. Across to Paquetá. Paquetá to Alexandro. Little layoff from Neymar. This time just decides to give it straight away and move off into space. Back it comes to Casemiro. Midway inside the Serbian half. Rafinha. Lovely bit of skill. Little shirt tug on him. Not bothered. Shrugs off the defender. Plays the ball across to the left. 1 minute of added time. I can't believe it. Alexandro wide to Vinicius Junior. Vinicius Junior, very nearly slid one through to Neymar.
Brilliant from Goodell. Just making the interception. I think it's really interesting the way Brazil are playing, and they're looking for, in those wide areas, Rafinha or Vinicius Junior, in those duels to create something, produce a bit of magic. They're not the marauding Brazil, the overlaps, which we've seen in the past.
That is the difference, isn't it, Chris? And we were talking about this with Tim Vickery about, you know, the likes of Cafu and Roberto Carlos and Carlos Alberto.
Who would just fly as would get on, get crosses in, shots in.
Yeah. These fullbacks in this iteration of the Brazil
they're getting on a bit, but I mean that's no excuse. But as I said earlier, they're more back support, supporting the play, playing behind them.
Danilo is one of them, plays the ball across to Thiago Silva. 10 seconds remaining in this first half. Looks like we're going to go in goalless. Alexandro has the ball wide on the left. Brazil have had lots and lots of possession. Referee decides that is it for the first half, blows his whistle. And it's goalless. Chris, best chance of the game fell to Rafinha. It was brilliantly worked. He just didn't apply the finish. But Serbia have shown, as we knew, they've got enough to challenge Brazil here.
Yeah, they said before the game, this is a streetwise Serbian team. I think the three centre-halves have been absolutely brilliant. I've described them as three Belgradian doormen, and they've been pretty watertight. That one opportunity, the chance of the half, Rafinha showed a real lack of conviction, but that's been it for Brazil. They've got to show more in this second half, and I'm sure that Chiche, he'll be looking at his bench and thinking, are there enough players on my bench? And I think there are who can change this game, because it hasn't happened to this moment in time. For Serbia, they've really struggled to get up the pitch. They've lacked pace. Mitrovic and Tadic aren't speed merchants, but I think they'll go in at half-time. If this is the game plan, we're going to keep things nice and tight, and we're going to try and counter, or maybe pinch a goal off a set piece or whatever. I think it's gone okay for them.
So, Kelly, to extend that rather tortuous analogy, the doorman doing a great job at the last dance. Brazil can't get onto the dance floor. Brazil 0, Serbia 0.
You're obsessed with the dance floor tonight. Somebody's going to have to take Alex Bruce Ball out dancing, and I think it might have to be you, Chris Sutton. Tim Vickery is with us. Tim Vickery is with us this evening as well, and we'll be back to the Sale Stadium with Ali and with Chris very shortly for the second half of that game. Tim, it feels as though Brazil are warming up into this World Cup, but the potential that's there for them to have a lot of fun on the pitch is there.
Yes, although I think there's been a lack of midfield elaboration. I don't think the coach is entirely convinced by what they're doing. I spent a couple of hours with them just a few weeks ago, and they have it's called a technical commission. It's a group. It's the coach and all of his assistants, and they were remarkably open about this dilemma that they had: who to leave out. Should you leave out Fred, or should you leave out Vinicius Junior? They've gone with the ultra attacking. I really don't think the coach believes in this 100%. I think he has doubts about this. I think he's given, or the majority have been against him, so he's gone along with it. Yesterday I was intrigued by something that he said in a press conference. He said you win and lose games in midfield, and I wonder if that's a message to his colleagues on his coaching staff as much as anyone else, because I think that there's a lack of elaboration. As you saw the first half hour, Paquetá and Neymar are too far apart. They had a little reorganisation and they moved it from a 4-3-3 to a 4-2-1-3. Paquetá over to the other side of the field, the left, closer to Neymar, to try and have more elaboration. But I get the impression that the coach he selected a side. Now, it's a first game, so you've got some margin for error. But he's selected a side in which there are members of his coaching staff who believe in this lineup more than he does.
And there are coaches who've done this before. They've called players into squads, they've started players maybe in friendlies, and this, as the opening match of the World Cup, is a step up from that, but it's still,
yes,
as you say, the opening match of the tournament for Brazil. And they do it sometimes to make a point, to say, look, I've tried what you've told me, I've told you it doesn't work, and now you can see for yourself it doesn't work. It might well be that there's going to be changes in the second half, and it could be different for the rest of the tournament going forward.
Yes. Originally, the coach was against the idea of a centre-forward. He wanted to play with two open wingers and Neymar as a false nine. And he was outvoted on that one. The problem that they've had is a problem getting Richarlison into the game. That's been much easier for them in the easier games. In this game, where those doormen have been standing outside saying your name's not on the list, you can't get in, it's been much harder for them to get Richarlison into the game. So, now Gabriel Jesus is a player who offers more in terms of elaboration than Richarlison does. Richarlison is there as a penalty area specialist, to do nothing else but to look at the goal like a racehorse with blinkers and bang. That's what he is. They know that's what he is. That's what he does. But they haven't been able to get him in the game. If you're looking for more elaboration, well, Gabriel Jesus, he hasn't really been in the picture recently, but he is a centre-forward who gives you a little bit more, an extra man in a circuit of passing on the edge of the area. That's one possible change. The World Cup, it's like time speeded up, isn't it? Sides can suddenly come together, or they can suddenly fall apart. And if Brazil go all the way, I doubt that the 11 that start the competition will be the 11 that finish it.
And we need to remember, Tim, that the build-up to this has been quite disrupted for Brazil.
Well, it's certainly been disruptive.
Or been patchy, rather, yeah.
Yeah, it's been disruptive or patchy in political terms. I think the coach hated the idea that Neymar came out and said he would dedicate the first goal he scored in a competition to Bolsonaro. And how can the team then say that football and politics don't mix? You know, the star player there is making a point of mixing them. But the idea is to isolate the team from all of that. And the main thing is to put that sixth star on the shirt. As Neymar already did on his shorts and got accused of arrogance by the German press. But if you're going to put a six star on, you've got to have 5 first, and Brazil have that 5 first. I think that gives them every right to be arrogant.
Absolutely. There is a Manchester United fan saying not arrogant, just better. And Brazil are just successful at the World Cup. They do have those 5 stars. They're looking for a 6th. Finding it a bit difficult to get through past Serbia in the first half this evening at the Lusail Stadium. Thank you very much to Tim Vickery for now. We'll be back there for second half commentary very shortly as that gets underway. But it's goalless between Brazil and Serbia at half-time in this game. We're going to look back on Portugal's game against Ghana earlier on after the BBC News with Richard Foster.
Take the World Cup with you. Qatar 2022.
On BBC Sounds, this is BBC Radio 5 Live.
A child safeguarding board has apologised for failures in the case of a 5-year-old boy murdered by relatives in Bridgend. A review into Logan Mwangi's death found hospital doctors failed to report injuries he suffered months before he died, including a broken arm. A man has been charged with the murder of a woman and 2 children after a fire at their flat in Nottingham. Fatoumata Haidara and her daughters Fatima and Naima all died from smoke inhalation. Jamie Barrow, who's 31, is due in court tomorrow. A child thought to be 6 years old has died and another has been taken to hospital after a bacteria outbreak at a primary school in Surrey. It's believed both children caught an infection on Tuesday. All pupils and staff there have been given antibiotics. A Metropolitan Police officer previously accused of 44 sex offences has now been charged with another 9 against one person. David Carrick, who's 47, faces 53 charges against 13 complainants. And 500,000 more people came to the UK than left in the year to June, the highest number on record. The Office for National Statistics says it's probably down to more students arriving and refugees coming over from Afghanistan and Ukraine.
For 7 decades,
Thousands of songs.
have soundtracked the lives of generations of us.
But there's only ever been
One official countdown.
Marking the 70th birthday of the UK's official singles chart.
We're playing the most streamed number ones.
from 1952 to 2022.
That's 7 playlists bursting with hits. Compiled by the official charts company exclusively for BBC Sounds. The UK's official most streamed songs.
To listen, open BBC Sounds, tap music.
And play most streamed chart. BBC 5 Live.
The FIFA World Cup, Qatar 2022 with Kelly Cates.
And we'll be back to the Lusail Stadium very shortly for the second half of Brazil against Serbia. As Brazil get their World Cup campaign underway, they've got 5 stars on their shirt. They're looking for a 6th at the moment. It's goalless between Brazil and Serbia. Earlier today, Portugal started off their World Cup campaign with a 3-2 win over Ghana. Let's remind ourselves of the goals, and we'll start with a penalty from the star man for Portugal.
He's looking towards his left. He now begins a stuttering run-up. Cristiano Ronaldo doesn't miss. Cristiano Ronaldo doesn't miss. He runs away. There is the trademark celebration. The boom echoes around Stadium 974. This is with João Felix. What a finish that was from João Felix. João Felix with a composed finish. Clips it past the goalkeeper. And Portugal are back in front. Bruno Fernandes, and the ball comes in, and Portugal just bagged another one. Portugal through Rafael Leão. First time finish right-footed, guides the ball into that far right-hand side to score his first goal for his country.
So it was nervy at the end for Portugal. Ghana with a really good chance to try and win it after an error from Costa in the Portugal goal. Bernardo Silva summed it up.
Very happy, difficult game as we expected. Two different halves. First one we controlled better the game. In terms of the possession, maybe we weren't aggressive enough. Second half we scored the first one, then when we conceded the goal, the game started being a bit weird in terms of, before it was like a more controlled game, and then it started like a transition game for both teams, which ended up being a good thing for us, because with our strikers running, we scored 2 goals that way. But yeah, happy at the end.
It was a little bit closer than it should have been. Is that fair to say?
At the end, it was a bit difficult for us, especially outside. I was very nervous, but 3 points and a very good way to start this competition.
And just what's this World Cup been like? Everything going on, but just as the tournament, the first week, you're glad you got the game out of the way, and now you just concentrate on the football, because you're going to be one of the favourites, aren't you?
Well, I hope so. Not one of the favourites, but one of the teams that have a lot of ambition to go far and to try and win it. Yeah, very good to start well with a win. Very happy to get the 3 points, knowing that sometimes you get surprised in these competitions, like we saw with some teams in those first games.
That was Bernardo Silva with George Cummings, and of course it was all about the team performance, but Ronaldo making headlines once again. He got the opening goal in the game from the penalty spot, and he's become the first man to score at 5 World Cups. He scored at Germany in 2006, in South Africa 2010, Brazil 2014, Russia 2018, and now at Qatar 2022. Only 4 players have scored in 4 World Cups, which was his previous record. Pele did it, Uwe Seeler did it, Miroslav Klose did it, and Lionel Messi, of course, with 4. He missed out on South Africa in 2010. He has been in the headlines for off-field stuff in recent weeks, but Ruben Neves paid tribute to Cristiano Ronaldo after the match.
It's Cristiano. Everyone knows him. The best player in the world. He's really motivated, like he said on his interview as well 2 days ago, I think. He's really motivated. He's really focused on the national team, and we are very lucky to have him with us, because he still can help us a lot.
That was Ruben Neves on Cristiano Ronaldo, and on Sports Extra right now you can listen to the action from the Women's Super League. It's Reading 1, Liverpool 1 at half-time. Just taking another step away from the World Cup, there's a new episode of the Rugby Union Weekly. It previews the final weekend of autumn matches. It's available now, and for a taster, the team chatted to Eddie Jones about his team selection.
The concept of the bomb squad is definitely something we want to experiment with. Yeah, can we bring a more powerful front row on in the second half? And you look at the guys we've got there, Genge, Luke Cowan, Dickey and Will Stewart. Like, that's a powerful front row. And whether they can really add to the game in the second half. And the second thing, obviously, the Springboks bring on their best scrummaging front row in the second half.
Remember, that is Rugby Union Weekly, and it is back and available via BBC Sounds. That, of course, is where you can get the World Cup Daily as well, where we wrap up everything to do with the World Cup, and you can get that, as it suggests, every morning in your inbox for the journey into work. At the moment, we're focusing on Brazil against Serbia from the Lusail Stadium. It's goalless at half-time. We will be back there very shortly for the second half. Tomorrow is a huge day for the home nations. It's topped and tailed by Wales and England. 10 o'clock in the morning for Wales against Iran. This is a game that Wales realistically have to win. There's been a big event in Doha here today, trying to create support for the Qatar national side. They're up against Senegal tomorrow. That's 1 o'clock for commentary here on 5 Live Sport. 4 o'clock for Ecuador against Netherlands, and then at 7 o'clock to watch their teams in action. About to get underway at the stadium in Lusail. It's Brazil against Serbia. It's goalless as it goes into that second half. Tim Vickery is with us just to give us his thoughts. Tim, you talked about the possible changes that Brazil could make going into this one, just to try and get them to click, to try and get them a bit more productive, to try and get the ball to Richarlison.
Yeah, well, one of the problems, if you start off with an ultra-attacking lineup, how do you make it more attacking without just changing like for like? So there's a couple that they could bring on that would give them something different. One, as I said, would be Gabriel Jesus, who would give them more elaboration. The other would be Rodrigo of Real Madrid, who they really see as the future of the Brazilian national team, and that they see him as someone capable of operating all across the attacking line. But if you're going to bring someone on, someone's going to come off. I wonder who that someone might be. It may even be Richarlison, because if they can't get him into the game, why not try it with something else? But all along I've thought that they would be better inclined to start off with more balance and then expand as the game goes on, instead of playing all of your cards at the start and then what you do from then on. I wonder if this will be the starting lineup for the next game against Switzerland, and I doubt it.
Tim Vickery, for now, thank you very much. We can head back to the Lusail Stadium now. Second half commentary of Brazil against Serbia. No goals as yet for Chris Sutton and Alistair Bruce Ball.
Thank you, Kelly. We are just waiting for one man to arrive before we can get the second half underway. Serbia have been out on the field for a couple of minutes. The Brazilian players have slowly made their way out as a team, but the number 10, Neymar, wasn't quite ready. Last man out of the tunnel with his Brazilian shirt off. He had to get that on over an undershirt. There was a bit of strapping to be done. He's still doing his bootlaces out on the field, and the second half is underway.
It's ridiculous. It's taking a while to do his laces up as well, isn't he?
What's he doing?
It's all very odd. I think it's been fascinating, the first half, though, and it's a really interesting group, isn't it? With Switzerland winning today and Brazil playing them next. I mean, Brazil will want to win this one and just take a little bit of pressure off.
Second half underway. Goodell has lost it here. Brazil have a chance and they cannot stick it away. Rafinha one-on-one with the goalkeeper Milinkovic-Savic. Serbia gave the ball away. Rafinha was in. He's had two great chances in the game and he's not been able to take either.
Yeah, Goodell on the edge of his own box, just dithering, taking too long to get the ball out of his feet and pop off a pass. And Rafinha 1v1, big save again. Milinkovic-Savic standing big, making a massive save, but Brazil going to rue those two. Rafinha misses two enormous chances and not taken them.
Brazil then playing this second half from right to left as we look at it at the Lusail Stadium. Yellow shirts, green numbers on the back, blue shorts, white socks.
He could have gone round the goalkeeper, I think. He could have done anything with it, just tried to slide it.
Really sloppy start at the back for Serbia there. They've survived it. Brazil 0, Serbia 0, and the point Chris makes is a really good one because of that Switzerland win. Brazil plays Switzerland next. That'll be a 5 live commentary on Monday, 4 p.m. kickoff UK time. If they don't get the win here, same for Serbia as well, it just cranks up the pressure that little bit more on that next fixture. Ball's fallen to Richarlison's feet just inside the Serbian half. He's pretty much on his own. Support now coming up on his left-hand side, and he goes down. He doesn't get the free kick.
He's dived, doesn't he? There wasn't any contact there. A poor first half, in fairness. He didn't get a lot of service in that first half. That's something for Chiche to think about.
Brazil 0, Serbia 0. Alisson in goal for Brazil. Danilo, Marquinhos, Thiago Silva and Alexandro back 4. Casemiro, Lucas Paquetá, Neymar, wide men Rafinha and Vinicius Jr. And Richarlison, Tottenham's Richarlison, playing through the middle, who's been in good goal-scoring form for his country in the warm-up games in September. 2 against Ghana, 1 against Tunisia. Brazil haven't been able to find a way through yet this evening. Can Neymar unlock the door? Plays the ball to his right-hand side. Danilo to Paquetá on the turn, tries to get it back to Neymar. Serbia have dealt with it for now. Tadic forward to Mitrovic. Mitrovic playing a little bit of keepy-up. Does brilliantly. Volleys a pass to his right. Lovely pace on that as well. To Zivkovic, the right wing-back. Zivkovic up against Alexandro. Alexandro bumps into him. Serbia keep going. Lukic is stopped, wants a free kick, not going to get it. This is danger for Serbia. Now Neymar's on the ball, heading towards their penalty area. Goodell, that's a terrible tackle on Neymar just outside the box. Neymar is down, writhing in agony. He made the challenge from Serbia's point of view just in time because it was short of the area and not in the area, but it was desperation and it was dirty.
Yeah, it was. It was really cynical. It was because Serbia were careless on that right-hand side, gave the ball away, and they became stretched. And the manager will say, you know what, it's a really good foul for our team, but dangerous situation now, 20 yards out, left-hand side of the box. Just watching this Rafinha chance again, blimey. I mean, it's such a poor effort, it is. As I said, he could have gone round the goalkeeper.
He's got the whole goal there, hasn't he?
Absolutely, just lifted over him.
Yeah.
And Milinkovic-Savic was already on his way down. I mean, that was a really poor miss.
Yeah. Just on Goodell, who's made the challenge there. It was him actually that gave that ball away that led to that chance. So possibly a little bit rattled, although, as we were saying, he felt he's made the right decision for his team. Now, Neymar, having taken the tumble, has got blades of grass plastered all over his face. We've got a close-up on him. Serbia have a man down, Zivkovic, as the draft excluder behind a very tall four-man wall, all in red. Free kick just outside the box. Could be Neymar, could be Rafinha. My money's on Neymar. And let's see what Brazil can do with it. Brazil 0, Serbia 0. Referee just wants to get everything just so. Blows his whistle now. Neymar pauses, drinks in the moment, then with the right foot takes a deflection off the wall and over the bar it goes.
I think the size of the wall, I mean, it's a tall wall, isn't it? And they're on the tiptoes, got the draft excluder. Very difficult to get it up and down. Maybe the tallest wall ever there.
Corner for Brazil. Brazil 0, Serbia 0. 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Neymar takes it with his right foot. Thiago Silva with the header. Richarlison with the shot. That's blocked. Serbia get bodies in the way. Down by the byline, Neymar tries to get across. In Serbian player down at the moment inside the penalty area. Referee lets play continue, and then it goes out of play for a Brazilian throw on the left, and then he's happy to stop the game.
Yes, Milinkovic-Savic. It's a ball fizzed in. Thiago Silva makes a run in that near post area and flicks the ball into Milinkovic-Savic's face, the Serbian midfielder.
Hit him in the throat,
he goes down,
yeah, nasty one actually. Throw in Brazil when we get started again on the left. Serbian team, goalkeeper's made a really important block at the start of the second half. He's another Milinkovic-Savic, he's the younger brother Vanja. 3 centre-backs, Milenkovic, Velkovic and Pavlovic. Zivkovic, Mladenovic, the 2 wing-backs. Lukic and Goodell, the 2 central midfielders. And then Sergej Milinkovic-Savic and Tadic in support of Alexander Mitrovic. And I'm sure at some point we will get to see Fiorentina's Luka Jovic and Juventus's Dusan Vlahovic, because Serbia really do have strength up front. And as we mentioned at the start of the night, Filip Kostic is not involved this evening as well, who's a crucial player for them. So that's a miss as well. Throw in Serbia, long diagonal aimed at Vinicius Jr. He just fell over, bumped into Zivkovic, but no foul. Throw in Serbia, 6 minutes gone in the second half. 0-0, and just waiting for that game sort of to rediscover its rhythm, and that real edge it had actually at the start of the game as well. Paquetá to Richarlison, back to Paquetá, slides the chance in here for Rafinha. Great tackle on Rafinha. Pavlovic had to get that right on the yellow card, timed it well and got the ball.
Yeah, perfect, Pavlovic. Really exceptional from him, because it looked like Rafinha was going to get a shot off with his right foot inside the box. And he gambled, he had to gamble. And he lunged and got the ball.
Paquetá's taken a real whack to his lower back here. He was doing some fancy sort of back heel stuff to keep the ball away from Goodell and Milinkovic-Savic, and then I'm not quite sure what's happened, but as he made the turn, he's hurt himself, and he's now sort of moving a little bit sorely back into defensive position. Serbian throw on the left.
The issue that Serbia have is, you've got to say, they've been pretty powder puff going forward, haven't they? Mm-hmm. They don't look like causing the Brazilians a problem.
Thiago Silva did really well there, strong against Tadic, brings the ball out from his own half. Vinicius Jr. with pace, gets away down the left-hand side, still going to the byline. Zivkovic catches up with him. Vinicius Jr. keeps his balance, cross comes into the far post, headed away, volley by Danilo, miscue. Goodell stoops and heads the ball out of the Serbian penalty area. Now Zivkovic fancies a chance at running down the right. Thiago Silva gets his body in the way, wins it for Brazil. Quickly forward to Paquetá, and suddenly the game has gone up a notch or two. Thiago Silva, ball at his feet, just inside the Serbian half. Paquetá moving fluently again.
It was Pavlovic again, wasn't it, with the headed clearance booked early. He's had an outstanding game, but can they keep the concentration?
Neymar looking for the 1-2 with Richarlison. Ball just ahead of Neymar. It is cleared away by Veljkovic, the middle of those three centre-backs.
That's the issue, isn't it, for the Serbians? They have been brilliant defensively, but you only have to switch off for a second with the array of stars, the superstars in this Brazilian team, and they'll make them pay.
Look at that bench as well. Tim Vickery was mentioning it at half-time. Gabriel Jesus, Manchester United's Anthony, Real Madrid's Rodrigo, Pedro of Flamengo, Gabriel Martinelli on that bench as well. Brazil with Neymar. Tickles run round the corner, can't find Paquetá, cleared to Casemiro, played across here to Alexandro, central position, brings it forward just outside the area, plays it wide to Vinicius Junior, low ball in, and the shot is wide from Neymar. Brazil held its breath for a second there, he caught it sweetly, couldn't get it on target, still 0-0.
Yes, a really clever pass from Vinicius Junior as the ball's popped out to him on that left-hand side, gets his head up, and he just feeds the ball in right-footed to Neymar, who's leaning back. Not great technique, and spoons the ball over the bar with his left foot.
10 minutes gone in the second half.
I mean, the issue is for Serbia, can they hold out? They've offered absolutely nothing in this second half going forward. You think it's going to be a matter of time. The Brazilians, they will create something. I think those two Rafinha opportunities, I haven't taken those chances. They will eventually. I think Serbia have got to show more intent.
Ball in towards Mitrovic is deflected and into the path of Alisson. That's the first thing he's had to do, the Brazilian goalkeeper, and he just very calmly bends down and picks the ball up like he's playing in the park with his kids and rolls it out to Marquinhos. Marquinhos plays it to Thiago Silva, who jauntily comes striding up towards the halfway line. Gets the ball back here from Danilo. Forward to Neymar. Neymar 10 yards inside the Serbian half, and then Lukic just muscles him off the ball, concedes the free kick. Another little Chiche quote. I love Chiche's quotes, Chris, I'm going to hit you with, which I read ahead of the tournament. I think in an interview with Tim Vickery, said one of the things he learnt from Russia 2018, other teams no longer tremble against the yellow shirt. He said that sort of fear factor that playing against Brazil has. Now we're going to have an early double change for Serbia in the second half. We've got Ivan Ilic coming on for Gudel, who was on the yellow card in central midfield. Ivan Ilic, who was once of Manchester City. They feel he could be a potential Nemanja Matic, actually, tall left-footed central midfielder, so he's on wearing number 24. And then the other change sees Nemanja Radonjic come on for Zivkovic at right wing-back. And the ball is in the arms of the goalkeeper, Vanja Milinkovic-Savic. All in green for Serbia. Brazil 0, Serbia 0. So number 7 wide on the right, Nemanja Radonjic, who plays for Torino. And here's Mitrovic just volleying a little ball forward. Now Mitrovic might be able to get on the end of something here. The ball bounces high inside the Brazilian half. He bumps Thiago Silva off it. Dusan Tadic looks up, gets across into the far post, and it's headed away by Alexandro. And Radonjic was waiting behind him, having just come onto the field, and was thinking he might have a chance to score.
Yeah, it's good defending though from Alexandro. He worked the situation. First time in this half that Serbia have gotten themselves up the pitch. You can hear the roar from the Serbian fans. Mitrovic going shoulder to shoulder with the Brazilian defender, winning the ball, popping it out left, and the ball just stood up at the far post, and Sandro heads behind. This is where they could be dangerous, the Serbians. Big team.
As we said, Brazil not lost an opening game at a World Cup since 1934 against Spain. At the moment, Brazil 0, Serbia 0. 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Corner for Serbia. Comes in from the right into the near post, headed up in the air. The ball is still in the Brazilian penalty area. Serbia trying to keep it alive with Mitrovic. Header away. Chased out by Mladenovic, and he'll let the ball go out for a throw-in on the left-hand side. Level with the edge of the Brazil box. And Mladenovic, there's no one making any sort of run towards him whatsoever. Eventually, Ivan Ilic, 21-year-old, decides to do that. Nice little pass first time with his left foot. Milinkovic-Savic tries to find him again. Ball bounces off a couple of Brazilian players. Last touch, though, came off Milinkovic-Savic, goes behind for a goal kick to Brazil.
Yeah, a couple of substitutions for Serbia. One of the changes going to come for Brazil.
Ball forward to Neymar. Neymar immediately surrounded by 4 red shirts, but moves away from them. They're happy to let him have the ball there in the centre circle. Then Tadic has a little nibble and got nowhere near the ball. Brings him down. Neymar takes the tumble. And that will be a free kick to Brazil. Tadic and Neymar have a little exchange. Brazil already on the move. Casemiro's pass looking for Rafinha down the right. Doesn't get there. Second chance for Brazil. Lovely skill from Danilo. Uses Rafinha, who's wide. Ball just jumps up off Rafinha's left boot, but he keeps it. Pass goes past Paquetá. Finds Alexandro. Hits a wicked swerving shot. Comes back off the post. Ball on the right here for Brazil. Danilo gets the cross in. It's a deep one. It eventually arrives at Vinicius Junior. Curler with his right foot, not on target. Goal kick for Serbia. What a hit from Alexandro. Milinkovic-Savic was not saving that.
You've got to ask yourself, is this going to be one of those nights for Brazil? It's a brilliant strike, all of 30 yards out. Alexandro, and he cuts across the ball. There's all sorts of swerve on the ball, and it cannons off the post. Milinkovic-Savic, a big guy in that Serbian goal, gets nowhere near it and goes to safety.
Chris Sutton with us in the Lusail Stadium. Chris, who's picked up hundreds of followers from Japan on social media this afternoon. Chris has gone viral over there doing his interviews with Japanese television today as Rafinha chases a ball through from Richarlison but can't catch it, and Milinkovic-Savic bowls it out, the goalkeeper, and the ball is with Ilic in midfield. So the Japanese very excited about the BBC Sport pundit who predicted their win over Germany, their 2-1 win. So Chris did his interview today. You never know what that could lead to, Chris, honestly.
Well,
just take me with you.
I'm available for contract offers.
Can I come? It's an amazing country to travel around. If you've never been, honestly, it is absolutely wonderful. And the pass very nearly, the pass back to Milinkovic-Savic.
Because Richarlison was lurking, wasn't he?
Here's Marquinhos. Brazil just in the last couple of minutes have just stepped it up a little bit. Bit more pace and purpose about the passing. Casemiro, curling ball with his right foot. Danilo controls. Rafinha is wide on the right. Danilo makes a run beyond him. Rafinha comes back towards the halfway line. He's got that sort of wiry, skinny build. Hits the pass with his left foot back to Thiago Silva. Marquinhos, a little 1-2 with Alexandro, who's just seen that shot come crashing back off the post. Vinicius Junior brings it in from the left. Nice pass to Casemiro. Casemiro delays his ball. Yellow shirts to his right. Rolls it across here to Danilo. Rafinha there on the corner of the Serbian penalty area. It run across his body. This could be dangerous. Silky moves. Neymar into the box, onto his left foot. Vinicius Junior, great save, and the rebound's knocked in. The offside flag stays down, and Richarlison starts the Brazilian party at Qatar 2022. He is absolutely mobbed by his teammates, fellow Brazilian substitutes. They're doing a little dance around him, and Brazil finally get the breakthrough. Some magic skills from Neymar, a brilliant save from Milinkovic-Savic initially, but Richarlison there to stick it home to make it Brazil 1, Serbia 0.
Richarlison, right place, right time, but this is all about Neymar. And the way he lets the ball run across his body on the edge of the box is absolutely brilliant, it is. The ball's just fed into him from Casemiro. Drops his shoulder, lets the ball run across his body and runs out on the left-hand side of the box. I think he's trying to go himself, but inadvertently sets the ball up for Vinicius Junior, who whips a shot in right-footed, and the goalkeeper makes a brilliant save, left-handed save. But all he does is pokes it out to Richarlison, who bundles the ball in. Hasn't been involved much this evening, but how important is that? Proactive inside the box, and the Brazilians deserve it.
Yeah.
You felt it was coming.
Yeah. You just noticed, didn't you, Chris? Last few minutes, that intensity had just picked up.
But Serbia, they've shown little ambition.
Radonjic trying to get away down the right, battling for the ball here. Brazil have two players there. Thiago Silva is one of them. Brazil leading Serbia now by a goal to nil. And Richarlison's goal-scoring record, they have really found a consistent number 9 for them. His 18th goal now in 39 internationals. Dusan Tadic is down holding his head. Yellow card goes up for Sasa Lukic. Not entirely sure what for. Play will stop. Tadic holding the back of his head in his neck, took a heavy tumble. Referee Ali Reza Fagani definitely raised the yellow card to Sasa Lukic. So whether he had a word there or something, said something out of turn, maybe that's the reason. And Tadic will have to recover. And Serbia now, yeah, he is. He's having a pop at the ref, isn't he?
Yep, it's full descent. I think there's maybe a foul on Dusan Tadic beforehand, and that's where the frustration was. I mean, it's okay setting up this way and being defensive, being compact, and for, you know, the best part of 60 minutes, 62, 63 minutes, it's worked for Serbia, but they haven't looked like scoring. Can't remember Alisson having a save to make. They haven't shown enough intent and ambition. And if you want to defend deep, that's fine, but are you good enough to keep these superstars out? And they haven't been, and now the game plan has to change for Serbia.
Yeah, Sasa Lukic,
a couple of substitutions.
Sasa Lukic just been booked. He is coming off. Darko Lazovic comes on to replace him. And the left wing back, Filip Mladenovic, I managed to say that right all night, and then he comes off the field and I stuff it up. And Dusan Vlahovic. So that is a change. You've got two strikers on the field now, and Serbia have got to go for it a little bit more. We have played 20 minutes in this second half. Richarlison has scored Brazil's first goal at this World Cup, and that sort of carnival feel and noise and music and dancing. And there was a sort of organised dance by the Brazilian entire squad, really, to celebrate Richarlison's goal after it came. All the reaction, debate, analysis to today's World Cup action in the World Cup Daily Podcast on the BBC Sounds app for you much later on this evening, and of course first thing tomorrow morning. So get yourself to the BBC Sounds app and click subscribe, and obviously you can always listen to the games if you're on the move during this World Cup at any time on your device. Take us with you where you go. Brazil 1, Serbia 0. Where's this game going to take us now? Ball wide on the right hand side with Darko Lazovic, who's taken up the right wing back role. So does that mean Radonjic? Yeah, Radonjic, the number 7, has gone over to the left wing-back role. And Vlahovic and Tadic now in support of Mitrovic for Serbia. And they've got the ball now. Rare possession for them. Ball played to Tadic. Tries to give it back to Radonjic. Taken away from him. And here come Brazil. And there's a lot of space for Neymar. Neymar running at the Serbian defenders. Ball might get to Vinicius Jr. Good turn from Vinicius Jr. Opening up for the shot, and he slips and slices it well wide. And just on a couple of occasions there, it looked like Neymar might get in. That chance disappeared. Then it looked like Vinicius Jr. might get in. That one disappeared. Both players are still down. The referee stopped the game, and we will have a slight break in play. Brazil 1, Serbia 0.
Yeah, it was 2-on-2. There's a wonderful pass to release Neymar, centre of the pitch. And then he's driving forward, looking for the run of Vinicius Jr. Got challenged, got tackled, and the ball broke to Vinicius Jr. Ilic tries to nick in front of him, and he rolls him, drives into the box, and just as he's going to fire a shot with his left foot, he slips. And the chance gone. They'll want that second goal, Brazil. They want to put this game to bed as soon as possible.
I'm not sure Neymar did his laces up properly start of the second half, because he's trying to get that right boot back on at the moment.
Looks like the Serbians have gone to a back four now.
Okay. Pass blocked by Richarlison. Yeah, you're right. And there's Milenkovic, who looks like he's playing at right back in the four now. Ilic, 21-year-old, plays across to his left-hand side to Pavlovic. The big centre-back goes lumbering forward. Stays up there in the attack. Why not? They're trailing 1-0. Want to try and get something out of this game. Their next game in the group is against Cameroon. Switzerland, the other team in this group. Cross comes in from the left, and that's intercepted by Casemiro, doing that job that he always does. Behind for a corner.
Amazing, isn't it? The difference a goal makes. The Serbians now pushing Brazil back. Got a risk. get back into this game.
Midway through the second half. Chris Sutton with us on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Brazil, 5 times winners of the World Cup. World #1 ranked team, leading Serbia 1-0. Defending the corner, header well over their crossbar from the big fella. The big bouncer, Pavlovic, gets underneath it and can't get it on target.
They're such a big team, aren't they? It's a left-footed outswinger. Pavlovic leaps well, but is under pressure from Thiago Silva, who just does enough. All that experience, just uses his body well. Leans into Pavlovic, and he heads the ball over the bar, well over the bar.
You and I, Chris, by the way, are back here on Saturday for a big one. 5 Live, 7 o'clock kickoff UK time, Argentina. After that defeat in this stadium against Mexico on Saturday. That'll be some game and some atmosphere as well, I think. Oh, now Brazil have lost it inside their own half. Vlahovic, clumsy first touch, and then he's conceded the foul. Oh, he's won the corner. I thought he shoved him over. Thiago Silva certainly feels the same. Vlahovic goes racing into the middle, wants to try and get on the end of something. Sloppy from Brazil, giving it away. So Serbia have a chance to attack again, and as Chris was just saying, they do have height and strength and muscle inside that Brazilian penalty area. Corner comes in from the right the way across, ball straight up in the air, headed back by Milinkovic-Savic, nodded off the line. Acrobatic attempt from Vlahovic is miscued, and eventually the ball is smashed behind for a goal kick, and Brazil survive.
Marquinhos off the line. It's a brilliant corner, left-footed in-swinger. Milinkovic-Savic, the Serbian midfielder, gets up, heads the ball across. Marquinhos, I don't know whether it was going in. Mitrovic was behind him, but he powers the ball clear. Marquinhos, little high five. Danilo is right back. That's their danger, the Serbians.
Do you know what will be a good listen, Chris, if they put it in the World Cup Daily? Because I know they've been doing a bit of that in this tournament. Is the Brazilian commentary on the Richarlison goal? Been doing that with a lot of the goals in this World Cup. I would love to hear that. Big moment for them, opening game. They're leading Serbia by 1-0. And if you're looking ahead to tomorrow's action, here's Tadic. Tadic, low pass to Mitrovic, edge of the Brazilian box, tries to scoop one into the middle, doesn't get it right, and the ball bounces into the arms of Alisson. Statman Dave at the end of every World Cup Daily just has a little sort of tactical look ahead at some of the players and what we're going to see in the day ahead. Big day on 5 Live tomorrow. Wales, Iran in full at 10. England, USA in full at 7 o'clock. Qatar, Senegal at 1. And Netherlands, Ecuador at 4 o'clock. Those are your 4 commentaries on 5 Live and BBC Sounds tomorrow. Brazil leading Serbia by 1-0. Throwing for them wide on the right on the halfway line. Thrown up towards Richarlison. Richarlison with his back to goal is able to lay it off to Rafinha. Finds Neymar, central position, 30 yards out. What spell can he weave here? Looking for Paquetá. Well, not a very good one. Pass was ahead of Paquetá, and Serbia are able to bring it away down the right with Lazovic. He's lost it. Vinicius Jr. will gobble that up all day long, goes tearing at this tired Serbian defence, and then his pass is intercepted looking for Neymar, and Ilic is able to get on the ball, and Serbia with Milinkovic-Savic now deep in his own half, drives a high diagonal ball away to the left. Danilo watches it, lets it bounce, and it goes out for a throw into Brazil.
Yeah, but it's opened up now, hasn't it, the game, with the Serbians pushing forward, showing greater intent onto a 4-4-2. Looks like Fred is ready to come on. Chiche just wanting to see this game through.
Yeah, Fred is stripped off and ready to go, wearing number 8 for Brazil at this World Cup. Immediately gives it to the more senior player. Neymar gives it back to him and says, no, I quite like what you're doing this evening. Outside of the right foot, Richarlison with the volley! What a goal! Brazilian brilliance at its best! That is absolutely sensational! Crossing from the left, Richarlison knocks it up in the air, spins and acrobatically smashes it home to make it Brazil 2, Serbia 0. How about that?
Wow. Brazilian magic, it really is. This is genius from Richarlison. His first goal was a tap-in. His second goal was a worldie. Unbelievable. Vinicius Junior down the left-hand side, outside of the right boot, into Richarlison, and the ball's in the air, a yard off the floor, flicks it up with the inside of his left boot, spins, overhead kick, into the corner, no chance for the Serbian goalkeeper. Acrobatics at its very best. That's absolutely stunning, isn't it?
Chris, when you come to a World Cup and watch Brazil, that is the kind of thing you dream of. And that is up there with the very best goals Brazilian players have scored at World Cups. And I don't think I'm exaggerating. The touch with the left foot, and then the audacity and the skill and the athleticism to turn and volley it like that and catch it so cleanly. That was just fabulous. Brazil 2, Serbia 0. And we were talking before the game with Kelly Cates about moments that you associate Brazil with the World Cup, and we've all got them. And that, for lots of our listeners tonight and people watching, that'll be one. That was magical. Paquetá is coming off and Fred is coming on. 2 goals in the game for Richarlison. Wow.
It's wonderful the way he takes the ball in, flicks it up. He knows what he wants to do as the ball's on its way. But you have those pictures in your head, those ideas in your head. But can you carry them out? Can you carry them off? And boy, did he. It's incredible.
Ridiculous
The connection, the timing.
Oh.
The flexibility, Bruce.
Well, you were showing it in the gym earlier today, Chris. Something similar. Well.
Can he get his hat-trick?
Let's see.
He barely had a kick in the first half, didn't he?
15 minutes to play. Richarlison on a hat-trick, and that you've got to go and find that goal. It's on BBC television tonight with the BBC TV games. Remember, you can listen to us at the same time. iPlayer, World Cup Extra. So I would very biasedly say, obviously, you get the best of both worlds. But I hope you've seen that goal this evening, or you will get to see it very soon. That was breathtaking. Brazil 2, Serbia 0. Final game, I beg your pardon, of World Cup action. Plenty more coming your way tomorrow with Wales and England back in action. Rick Edwards, as ever, with the breakfast output from 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, live from Doha. Ian Rush, one of the guests ahead of Wales, Iran. Full commentary on that one at 10. Here come Brazil. They're in the party mood. Ball in towards Rodrigo at the far post.
Well, what they're up there with the best, the very best, is when the game becomes stretched and they have space, they will exploit. And the game has opened up. Serbia want to get back in this game, but here they go again, Brazil.
Yeah, this could be bad for Serbia. Rodrigo on as a sub, dancing feet inside the penalty. Oh, he was trying to line himself up for the right foot shot. Casemiro's going to try and thump one from 40 yards out. That's blocked. That might be a corner. I think it is a corner. And the official attendance figure for this evening, 88,000 people. And just looking round, it is hard to find an empty seat. And as I said at the start of the game, this stadium is absolutely enormous. Plenty of games here during this World Cup, including the final. Now, John Murray apparently had a bit of trouble, I think, getting back from a stadium last night, Chris. He will be here for the final. I think we would say set off early to find this one, because we had a spot of bother too this evening.
Well, more you than...
Yeah, but a navigator's meant to help,
you
Chris,
than me,
not hinder.
Well, we had Chris Bevan, didn't we, from the BBC website.
That was a key one, wasn't it, where he said
he won't be sitting in the front again.
No, he won't. He helps Chris with the BBC Sport predictions, more of those.
Well, he doesn't help me with the predictions.
No,
he roasts me most weeks, doesn't he?
Little stoppage in play here. Has Neymar got a problem with the shoelaces again? So someone is actually having to do them for him now. I mean,
Thiago Silva,
if you are Neymar, you can get people to do that for you. I mentioned you probably do at home have people to do your shoelaces. Actually, I hope he's okay. He's down. The medical team are there as well. Let's hope he's all right. Is Richarlison coming off? I think he might be. Gabriel Jesus, that's lovely from Gabriel Jesus. He applauds Richarlison off. Thank you very much to Richarlison for that moment of magic tonight, because that was absolutely unforgettable. And I think for a career moment for him, and I know it's only the first group game, Chris, and you want to go on and win a tournament, but moments like that, you know, to look back at the end of your career and say you scored a goal like that.
Well, that's goal of the World Cup so far.
Oof.
Well, go on.
Well, I'm not sure, because I've not seen every single goal, but
well,
you see, I
I've
remember
seen a lot. We're watching it again now. Vinicius Junior fizzes the ball into him. He's got bodies around him. Inside of his left foot, flicks it up over his head, swivels, bang, right-footed into the corner, whistles past the Serbian goalkeeper, and the joy in the stadium erupted.
Yeah. The reason I'm not quite going for it, because in a very early game I did in 2014, Tim Cahill scored a wonder volley against the Netherlands.
I said so far.
And in the commentary I said, you will not see a better goal than that at this World Cup, and the next day there was a better one scored.
Yeah, but I didn't say that. I said so far that is the best goal of the tournament.
Might well be a debate in the World Cup Daily podcast on the BBC Sounds app. Anyway, we've still got 10 minutes of fun and a bit more to have here. Brazil leading Serbia by 2-0, running at them, tearing them apart. Ball down the right, might come back to Rafinha. Milinkovic-Savic gets a foot in. Rodrigo, again trying a little bit of skill in the penalty area. It's cleared away. Runs now to the left-hand side. That is Anthony, who's come on the field.
That's not fair, is it, really?
No.
Anthony,
he's going to do
Rodrigo,
yeah.
Gabriel Jesus.
Anthony trying to get on one down the inside left channel. He's chased here, sliding challenge on him. I'm not sure who touched the ball last there. Brazil get... No, they don't. Serbia get a goal kick. The sliding challenge came in from Lazovic, but actually neither player touched the ball. Just wondering whether it could be time for one of Anthony's sort of 360 pirouettes. Is this the sort of occasion where it merits it? Ball up towards the halfway line. Rodrigo jumps for a header on a bouncing ball. Milinkovic-Savic has lost it. Gabriel Jesus now plays into the path of Fred. Fred to his right-hand side. Rafinha's had some chances this evening. Could this be the moment? Rafinha playing it back to the edge of the box. Jesus lays it off. Casemiro hits the bar. Thought that was 3. Beautiful, peachy, curling shot that he thought was destined for the top corner. So did 88,000 people inside the stadium, and it's come bouncing back off the woodwork. I'm losing track of who all these Brazilian players are and where they're playing at the moment. Alex Sandro back to Thiago Silva. Brazil 2, Serbia 0.
Oh, they're in full flow now, aren't they? And that was a brilliant move. Neymar, who's now playing out on that right-hand side, across the pitch into Casemiro, who strode onto the ball.
Rodrigo to Fred, back to Rodrigo, first time. Milinkovic-Savic this time palms it away, getting down low to his left-hand side. Brazil want more, and the fans are absolutely loving it in here. Danilo to Casemiro, tries a little backheel pass. Alexandro alert, gets there. Rodrigo plays the pass back here to Danilo. Wide on the right-hand side is Rafinha, and he's just teasing the defender there, standing there and saying, come and get it. Fred with a little flick ball. Gabriel Jesus on the turn, just run off it. Good, strong defending from Milenkovic for Serbia. Brazil leads Serbia by 2-0. They beat Serbia by 2-0 when they played in the World Cup in 2018, and they've just cranked it up, haven't they, second half, Brazil?
They have done. They've played with great urgency, and you felt, as I said, the Serbians, you sit back against Brazil, they have the individual brilliance to open you up, and they're doing it at will now.
Fred, left-footed drive, good save, Milinkovic-Savic. Just taking pot shots now. Milinkovic-Savic screaming at his defenders, saying, hang on, I'm facing the entire Brazilian team on my own here. He's made some good saves in this game. Fred gave that the hammer.
Oh, it's a brilliant save, because Fred left-footed on the half-turn. Space opens up, drives the space centrally. 23, 24 yards out, and fizzes a left-foot shot. Milinkovic-Savic gets that big right hand to it.
Mitrovic off, Maksimovic on. Mitrovic being saved for the other two group games. Over on the left-hand side is Anthony. Plays a little 1-2 with Rodrigo. Sandro could easily have scored as well. Remember that shot, that low fizzer that came back off the post. Wide here to Rafinha, little chip ball into the box. Milinkovic-Savic off his line, punches powerfully clear. Casemiro volleys a pass to his left, the offside flag was up. And so, now I started my stopwatch 5 minutes late, so 33 out of 5 is 38. 7 minutes plus added time remaining in this game. You sense, well, certainly the Brazilian fans don't want it to stop. The Brazilian players, I think, because most of them are fresh out there now, having made all the changes, they don't want it to stop. I don't want it to stop. Chris, it's been brilliant to watch.
It has been. And,
yeah, now chance for Serbia to attack down the left-hand side. Radonjic gets down to the byline, and then his control lets him down. It goes behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, you've got to say that the Brazilian defence aging as it is, and the goalkeeper, I added up earlier, 158 years between Alisson and the back four, the Brazilian back four, plenty of experience in there.
Yeah.
Haven't really been tested.
Given the ball away here, driven shot there from Milenkovic, edge of the box. Alisson desperately trying to keep it in play to prevent it going out for a corner, throws himself at it but can't do that. Corner for Serbia. Ticking over.
It's can they for the Serbians? Can they give Brazil something to think about? They haven't looked like scoring in open play.
Well, got a set piece now. 5 minutes plus added time remaining. Serbian corner. Away swinger coming in from the right. They've got the height to challenge. Brazil have managed to get it out. And a pass into the box is blocked. And now look at these yellow shirts coming flying forward on the counter. Antony inside his own half. Pirouettes on the ball. Plays it back to Casemiro. Inside to Alexandro. And then Thiago Silva strokes a lovely ball away to the right. And Danilo's got space to run into. Rafinha ahead of him. He just lends the ball to Rafinha. Rafinha goes casually jogging right on that touchline away on the right-hand side. Back to Danilo. Here's Marquinhos. Serbia in their red shirts. Ball chasing late in the game. 2-0 down. And having to think about the next one against Cameroon on Monday. Good run by Gabriel Jesus down the right. Now can he find a teammate in the middle? Quick silver feet. Low ball into the near post. Blocked. Only as far as Fred. 25 yards out. Plays back here, Marquinhos in the middle of the Serbian half, across to Casemiro. Casemiro side foots a ball to Antony. Antony just goes dancing backwards. Little 1-2 with Thiago Silva. Antony again teasing defenders. Oh, he went for the old elastico and it's worked. Gets in between the two of them. Plays the ball to, Rodrigo with the curler just wide. That was not far away. Hit it beautifully with his right foot. And it's gone behind for the goal kick.
He lets the ball run across his body. Rodrigo on the 18-yard line, just trying to bend the ball into the far top corner. An old elastico. Bruce, you've been on the end of one of those, haven't you?
I have. I remember telling you about that. Yeah, in the Piazza in Perugia, the Algerian fella who did me with the elastico. Wasn't going to fall for it a second time, Chris, but honestly, it's the best bit of skill I've ever had done against me, Chris, although I've not played football with you yet, actually. Gabriel Martinelli is coming on, so for those exhausted Serbian defenders, there's someone else to think about. Rafinha's coming off, should have had a goal tonight, definitely should have had at least one goal, but was always dangerous on the right-hand side. Brazil 2, Serbia 0. Ball cleared away from the edge of the Brazilian penalty area, headed forward by Ilic, bouncing ball. Nodded down the right here to Antony. So Martinelli's on the left, Antony is now on the right for Brazil. Curling ball into the edge of the box. Nodded down. Martinelli. First touch of the evening, head down, got real speed. Quickly across the halfway line. In fact, he's going to try and use a bit more of it. Still going. Bringing this ball into the Serbian penalty area with the pull back. Can't find a teammate in the middle. Cleared away, but only for now. Brazil might be able to come again.
Just kept going and going, didn't he? Martinelli.
Marquinhos down the right to Antony in his bright orange boots. Antony works it onto his left foot, goes for the curler, gets it all wrong. Way over the bar and behind for a goal kick. Brazil 2, Serbia 0.
Yeah. What do we make of Statman Dave's left field pick?
Serbia?
Yeah.
Well, give him a chance.
Yeah, I mean...
That's what I'd say, Chris. I mean,
it looks like, I think, look, before a ball was kicked in this group, of course, everybody would say Brazil, but with Switzerland winning today,
Yeah,
they've got a lot of work to do.
they do.
Haven't shown enough going forward for me.
No. I barely mentioned Vlahovic's name since coming on, but Brazil have completely taken over the game, and here they come again. Stylish, slick, silky football. Great run on the outside here made by Danilo. Cross comes in towards Jesus. Martinelli with the header wide. And that's goal kick or free kick? Goal kick. Oh no, a free kick. Because Milinkovic-Savic has thrown the ball further forward.
We haven't seen Danilo do that very much at all, have we?
No.
And the poor Serbian back line, see him hurtling forward down that right-hand side. Overlap, cross in, but free kick.
Milinkovic-Savic, the goalkeeper, clears with his right foot. Can't be controlled by Ilic. Serbia are slowing down. Brazil might fancy one more. We're into the 90th minute of the game. One more reminder about our commentaries on the way tomorrow, starting with Wales, Iran at 10 as Fred gets onto the ball, wide on the right-hand side. England back in action tomorrow as well against the USA. And that game in full from 7 o'clock. John Murray, Rob Green and Micah Richards all part of the commentary team. Chris and Robbie Savage taking the calls after the England game on another day of World Cup football coming your way on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Also Qatar, Senegal at 1 o'clock UK time tomorrow, and Netherlands, Ecuador, which I think is going to be a really interesting game actually in Group A. Ole time for the Brazilian fans. Every single pass is getting cheered. The Serbians won't like that. Undone by 2 Richarlison goals this evening, and the second of them absolutely sensational. Now Brazil, the Oles have to stop. They've given it away. Ball is played back to the halfway line to Lazovic. Now forward into the centre circle. Milinkovic-Savic across to Pavlovic. 7 minutes of added time. Tadic on the ball. Little 1-2 with Milinkovic-Savic. Plays it forward towards Ilic. Out to the left now to Pavlovic. Back again to Tadic, and Tadic comes back towards the halfway line, and Maksimovic plays to his right-hand side. That's Velkovic. High lofted ball away to the left, controlled by Radonjic. Radonjic, pressure on him from Antony, but they've worked it well, Serbia. Radonjic in a crossing position on the left. Marquinhos is able to head that away at the near post. The ball drops for Antony, tried to control it on the volley, couldn't bring it down. It bounces a couple of times, gets away from him and goes out for a throw into Serbia. They take it quickly into added time at the end of the game. Milinkovic-Savic, little scoop pass for Tadic, keeps it in play, cross lob towards the far post. Alisson went for it, couldn't get there, bumps into his own defender and knocks him over. That was Alexandro. Serbia have it wide on the right with Milenkovic. He's tackled, but actually he's the one to concede the throw, and so Brazil will take their time. Brazil 2, Serbia 0.
Yep, they've been really poor in the final third. Serbia, you can't ever remember an incisive pass. Everything's gone out wide. They've cross balls into the box, but to little effect. And Brazil, I think this performance is just saying to everybody else, we're here, you better watch out.
Referee's saying, I'm here, hurry up, get on with the throw-in. I've got one more Chiche quote I want to read you if I've got time. But the ball is back in play. Flick on from Gabriel Jesus. Martinelli might get there first. Bumps into the defender, but Jesus is onto the loose ball. All clever from Jesus. That was a bad challenge on Jesus from Pavlovic. Could get booked for that, actually. Jesus gets it from Martinelli. Can't tee himself up for the shot in the penalty area. Serbia clear, and then Danilo's hobbling.
There, yeah. He was down in the box.
Right.
A couple of minutes ago. I don't know. I'm not a medical expert, Bruce, whether that's cramp or not.
You always say that, don't you?
Waving over to the
5 subs. They've used all 5, so that's a problem. I mean, not a problem in terms of the game, but right back in this squad is 39-year-old Dani Alves, who could break Thiago Silva's record that he's just made tonight of becoming the oldest Brazilian player to play at a World Cup.
Just to make clear as well, you're not a medical expert.
No, I'm not. I'm not. So. Added time. End of the game in the Lusail Stadium. Brazil 2. Serbia 0.
Look.
He is hobbling, yeah. He is hobbling, but what are they going to do? He wants some help at the back from Antony, and Antony's saying, no, I want to have fun. I want to go forward and get the ball.
I want to score a goal.
I want to score a goal at the World Cup, yeah. So are they going to leave him out there? Looks like they are. Alisson bouncing the ball here. He's had a very quiet evening. volleys it forward with his right foot.
Brazil, come on, Alisson, hoofing the ball up the pitch. This is Brazil. This is a World Cup. We've seen the best goal of the tournament so far, and Alisson hoofing the ball up the pitch out of his hands.
Serbia have taken the free kick. That's going to tie. It's going to tie in nicely with my Chiche quote if I can get it out. The Brazilian manager managing it back-to-back World Cups. Serbia on the ball though, with Pavlovic. Now Tadic looking for the ball through to Vlahovic, cut out.
Beautifully read from Thiago Silva.
Yeah. Ball out wide to Martinelli, beaten in the air by Milenkovic. So, Chiche says, I don't want to throw away my principles and win this thing at any cost. I'm not saying this is an excuse if we lose. I've won everything in my career. The only thing missing is the World Cup. We want to win by being the best, fairly, with pride at being technically more developed, faster, with more quality, more creativity, and more goals. And here they come. Down the left-hand side, Rodrigo looking for a third. Cross comes in, not enough on that, and cleared away by Veljkovic in the middle. Can they find one more tonight?
Well, do you believe Chiche after seeing Alisson punt the ball down the pitch 80 yards?
Mix it up a bit, Chris, that's what I'd say. Added time at the end of this game. Brazil leading Serbia by 2-0. He then added, not with the influence of dirty play, provoking the opposition, looking for little advantages.
There's been the odd dive, hasn't there?
Ball down the left from Sandro. Martinelli chests it down. Ball spins to a stop on the laces of his right boot, teasing defenders up to the edge of the box, trying to slide it back here to Rodrigo.
They are frightening, aren't they?
Yeah.
The attacking players they have on the bench, I mean, blimey. And there's been a nice balance to the team. They haven't looked like conceding.
Yeah.
That back four, they've been in place. Casemiro just brilliant at protecting the back four, and he's been a real enforcer in there. And the odd time he's drifted forward, unlucky not to score.
Quick throw from Serbia looking for Vlahovic. Falls over, and he now seems in pain, holding the back of his left leg.
Trod on his ankle, didn't he?
Did he?
Trod on his Achilles.
Naughty. Accidentally, actually.
There you go. No, he clips him.
If Brazil win this group, they will play the runners-up.
Come on, there's games to. That's a bit disrespectful.
That's if.
Bruce, isn't
if
it?
Brazil win this group, and I think they will, what do you think?
Don't underestimate Switzerland.
Okay, they will play the runners-up of the Portugal, Ghana, Uruguay, South Korea.
So basically you're saying Brazil are going all the way.
You're the predictions expert. You're the man who's big in Japan. You tell me. I hope you predicted them to win the next one.
There he goes again.
He's gone long.
What about this beautiful brand of football? They're
Look at
it.
Oh, up to Jesus. He lays it off.
Are you sure those quotes are associated with Chiche?
I think he gave them to Tim Vickery in the publication I'm reading them from.
Tim Vickery's on after.
Yeah, we'll ask him. I like those quotes. Milinkovic-Savic. Ball at his feet. Brazil trying to win a 6th World Cup at this tournament, and they've started well. Serbia on the ball, bringing it out of their own half with the 21-year-old Ilic. Radonjic plays it back to Pavlovic. Pavlovic turns back to his goalkeeper. He's had a good game. He has had a good game.
I mean, the scoreline would have been far worse had it not been for him.
Now they come forward. Ball across from Veljkovic, controlled by Ilic. Radonjic in space on the left-hand side. Up against Antony. Takes Antony on the inside. Radonjic with the right-footed shot. Blocked. Is it Casemiro? Obviously. Turned his back, got his body in the way. That's it for the entertainment this evening. But look out for Brazil at Qatar 2022. And look out for their number 9. We were talking about their number 10 before the game. Neymar just 2 goals shy of Pele's record for the Brazilian team. But goodness me, Pele would be very, very proud of Richarlison's 2nd goal tonight. He scored both. The first stabbing into an empty net after Milinkovic-Savic had made a fabulous save. But the second was just a joy to behold. Cross came in from the left. He flicked it up with his left foot, swiveled in midair, and smashed it in with his right foot. And it was beautiful, Chris Sutton.